Not today, pal. Not today.
We were setting it off in here right before the pod. Tell them what we were doing, James.
Robbie was playing what he calls grinding music.
100%.
This is the music we used to grind to
Not
other...
me and you.
Not
we
us.
Separately, we used to grind.
with
Yeah.
other people would dirty dance to.
That
and
wh-
it unlocked a part of me that hasn't been unlocked in a while.
mean,
Thank you. Wow, I'm standing 2 inches taller right now.
Yes. The one I want to tell everyone falls in love. If you want to get the mood that we're in, everyone falls in love sometime by who? Tanto Metro?
Obviously.
Oh,
yes.
man.
So that was the anthem of my senior year spring break. I cannot believe our parents let us go to the Bahamas by ourselves for 5 days, taking over a hotel, like debauchery. It was hands down the wildest and sluttiest I've ever been in my entire life.
You were 17 or 18?
I guess I was 17 at that point. Because spring break was in April and I turned 18 in May.
PG's gonna love this. Yeah, you were you were wild. So okay, so what? You go to the Bahamas?
Just drunk all day, all night, kissing everybody on the dance floor.
Wow.
Pretty sure I entered into the booty shaking contest. And by the way, Sopranos was airing. Okay.
Yeah.
This is, thank God, like pre-cell phones and, social media.
Jamie could do whatever she wanted back then.
I had a time. And you just brought me back.
Well, listen, if I ever have a daughter, she's not allowed to go to any school dances unless it's daddy-daughter dance. Because that was
Yep.
If I think about, a dad realizing his 16-year-old daughter had sex with me when I was 16, it's like, whatever. Like, it was fucking 3 minutes. Like, it's not, she was probably like, oh, whatever. Like, if when I was 13 and 14 and grinding at dances for 6 hours, like, you're leaving there
sweaty.
In heat.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. You're like, I want more of this. Where like after 3 minutes of sex with me when I was 16, I don't think anybody wanted more, Like, I think where that grind, like, here's another thing, right? If I look at the sex I had when I was 16 to now I'm 40, it's changed very much. If I start grinding right now, same grind at 13 that I'm grinding now.
Yeah,
I'm the same grinder.
You could go for hours grinding?
I'm just saying my technique is the same.
Right.
Sure, I could go for hours grinding, but my technique.
Do you think we look lame when we grind now?
I mean, I haven't
I don't know.
done
You
it.
just had footage of us dancing.
But that's not
Do
grinding.
we look lame?
We're just vibing out. Grinding is like when it was like, I mean, your legs are in between another person's legs.
I'm going to ask Cutter to grind with me. I'm going to see.
Yeah.
Why did I get a laugh?
Here's what I think. I think that's the kind of stuff you do with your partner to like get shit going.
I don't think we've ever maybe. Oh, I have a picture of the one time we've grinded.
Send it.
Okay.
We got Jamie and Cutter grinding. I can't wait to.
And he sent me, the sky is weird right now. Dust or fire.
This is what Cutter. This is Cutter's whole. Cutter just sends you random texts during the day where you're like, "What? Like, sky's weird right now."
Are grinding. Okay, hold please. See if he'll send it to me.
Okay,
it's framed on his desk in his office.
Yeah, like I think it's like people think like, oh, it's a dance or whatever. Where like if I was a dad, I'd be like, I know what go on when 13-year-olds are dancing and sweating for hours, and it's fucking wild.
Yeah, Bo had said to me recently, he was like, what did you do with boys in 5th grade? And I made the mistake where I was like, oh, I hardcore made out with my boyfriend in 5th grade. Now like every other day he'll be like, Mom, did you really make out in 5th grade? And I'm like, I probably should not have told him that.
Damn.
Because he looks like a baby to me.
That's the thing. Baby. Yeah, when you look at kids that are like 11 now, you're like, wait, we were doing what?
I didn't realize what an animal I was.
Like if I saw me smoking a Marlboro Red at 12, I'd be like, that's insane. But it was like, no, yeah, they're smoking. Like,
yeah,
it's a normal...
and I thought I was a good girl. I was compared to a lot of other people.
Yeah, I never thought I was good. But
I thought you said you were going to say you never thought I was a good girl.
No, you were always like Jamie-Lynn is like, yeah. The only thing that I always thought was like, oh, that's wild that Jamie does is like, cause you had like the things with like cars. So you'd be like, oh, like people smoke weed in cars and this. And like, we never had cars in the city. Like I was 12, 13, 14.
You mean
we were just
like
in
when
the park.
we drove on Long Island?
Yeah, and you're like, we bring all our cars together and we meet in a parking lot and like hang out and do this. And I'm like, oh, that seems like edgy.
But that's like what you did at a park.
I know, but it's just there's something about like everybody driving up and you're in your own space where like we were never alone.
Right.
We never had our own space to do something.
Right.
So it was like kids were losing their virginity in the park. You
That's
know,
wild.
where it's like I would hear things from you where it's like, oh yeah, no, we parked the car and we could do this and that, and I'm like, wow, that sounds like
Yeah, the hill.
Yeah, we never had our own. We never had our own space. We never.
Here it is.
Here's we got guys. We just had it hit Jamie's phone. We got a picture of Jamie. Oh, you got to send that. You got to send it, Jamie.
Okay. Sorry.
But not to. You don't have your AirDrop on. Is that why it doesn't
I do.
go?
I'll try again. But
I
it says
gotta-
no one's nearby. Oh yeah, who we go? He kind of wrote that turned me on.
That's what I'm saying. Because listen, broads like it when you're dancing. You got to dance. I think that's why girls always say we want to dance because it gets them all horny.
It does.
I know, guys. Gotta come on, guys.
Come on,
It's just-
guys.
But you got to dance. So it sucks.
You got to dance.
But that's what you drink. You have a few drinks. You're dancing. Who cares?
gotta dance.
I'm fucking sober. Dancing sucks.
Really?
Sucks. I mean, listen. If I could curate a playlist for like a few
You'd get
minutes,
up and dance if everyone
Yeah.
falls in love sometime, gets on
Oh, I'm getting up and dancing.
a speaker, you're getting up.
Yeah, but I kind of think like, cause what is reggae's from Jamaica, right? I should have been born in Jamaica. Like I'd be dancing every night.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I can't not dance.
Yeah.
Like walking
You'd
by
be
a place,
happier.
hearing a reggae.
Would you be happier in Jamaica?
I don't know.
I don't know.
A lot of Jamaica's like poverty, right? I think, isn't it? From what I hear, I've never been to Jamaica. I don't know. I just imagine
not
like
all-
I just imagine being born and like living in Jamaica might not be the greatest life.
You need a little more action.
But I could be wrong. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaicans. I love reggae.
Robbie's 40 now. Have we discussed this?
I don't think so. But you're grinding. Don't take it off your grinding. You
Oh,
and
okay.
Cutter.
All right. We'll address this. First of all, look
Cutter's
at
got
Cutter's
hair.
hair.
Cutter's got hair.
This is us knowing each other maybe 2 weeks. This
Where
is
are you?
Fresh Jamie Cutter. We are at Beecher's Madhouse in LA.
Look how in love Jamie is. Or is that? Are you drunk?
Not sober,
That looks like
but
Jamie
like
drunk.
madly in love with him. I mean,
2 weeks in, madly in love. Look at you.
This is an old 30-year-old bitch and a 22-year-old little ball player.
Wow. Yeah, you were horny.
But he was
old
into
lady.
it. Look, he loved it.
Oh yeah, of course. He got you pregnant twice.
You know it.
Well
Shout
done,
out.
Jamie. See, that's the thing. Like, I think podcasts are obviously better than doing radio. But imagine like being on radio and you could play any song you want. That's got to be so nice.
Yeah.
Where you could we could have thrown on those fucking.
Yeah, we
could-
just had a great time. I
had a
wonder if
great
people
time.
would tune in to 30 minutes of just you and I.
Yeah. Well, we were. That's the thing. We were like, oh, we're dancing at work. 30 years later,
Yeah.
we're seeing video of us
Yeah.
dancing at work. It's
yeah.
It's wild. This is yeah. I'm 40
I'm
years old
sad.
now. What was I? 15 when we were dancing in that video.
Yeah.
Why are you sad? Because we're
'Cause I'm
old? I mean, listen, it happens. But I'm also happy I'm old. We're not doing dumb young shit, which is cool.
I want to do dumb young shit.
Right.
again.
That's because I can do dumb young shit. You're held hostage by those kids.
Right.
Yeah. I can do
Yeah.
whatever I want, and
Yeah.
I don't want to do dumb. You would do dumb young shit for 2 days and be like, I'm done for a year
I
or
don't
two.
know.
What would you want to do? You want to go grind?
I've been working so hard for so long. I just want to be dumb.
You just want to be dumb?
I want to be dumb and do dumb shit.
What? Let's say for some reason tomorrow it was like you got would you go back to spring break?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just want to have no impulse control for 24 hours.
Go on like a cruise with Cutter for 48 hours. Where
No,
you just
Cutter would throw
unlimited
himself
food.
off the cruise. He cannot handle
Not if he
being
told him
locked
he
on a
could bang
boat.
you all the time on the cruise.
Well, I didn't say that was dumb. That's not part of my impulse.
But I'm just saying, when you're grinding at the club like a bunch of teenagers, he's gonna get to bang you when you go back in the room.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's how you get Cutter to do stuff. You just tell him he could bang you.
that's true.
I
That's pretty
know.
much how I can get him to do anything.
Of course.
Yep.
Let's see. What you know what I really want to do? I want to call Cutter and ask him why he wouldn't let you eat the turkey leg
Okay.
at Disney. Give him a call and put it on speaker.
P.S. We should totally have a DJ day.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll.
dumb shit day?
What do
Let's
I
do
do?
it.
What do I record it? But be like, have you seen the sky? Just to see what he says. Be like, you seen the sky
texted me,
outside?
right?
Yo,
Tell me about the sky.
are you driving home?
No, I'm still here. Tell me about the sky.
Are you calling me on the podcast?
Cutter, I had a question I wanted to ask you. You're on the pod.
Great.
What? She knows you. She knows you never call that nice. Like, tell me about the sky, babe. Jamie said you wouldn't let her eat a turkey leg at Disney. What was? Why not?
I didn't let her eat a turkey leg at Disney.
That's what she said.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things we can't do at Disney. At the end of the day, it's like, we can't do a lot of things there, like touching railings, turkey legs. I mean, think about it. Like, what are they? At Disney.
The legs of a turkey.
I know, but like there's a lot of fake shit in there, I would imagine, right?
Listen, I'm usually on board with you with stuff like the OCD stuff, touching the rails and this. But when you say don't eat the turkey leg, she's just gonna go eat something else. I thought it would have been awesome to give her that turkey leg for 2 hours. She just zones out and she's eating a turkey leg.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I want to know your problem with it.
As somebody who started working as a child, one of the most important lessons I learned working in especially a finicky business like show business was how important it was to invest. Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. April is Financial Literacy Month. That's right. They made a whole month reminding you to finally take control of your money. And I think Acorns is a great way to do that. Good news is you don't need 30 days. Acorns makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future in just 5 minutes. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you and your money goals. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now, even if all you've got is spare change. A little bit goes a long way. I have learned that from a very early age and have seen a ton of return. Sign up now and join the over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $25 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/nottoday or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/nottoday. When you think of businesses skyrocketing in sales like Gymshark or Heinz, you naturally think of amazing products, cool brands, brilliant marketing. But what's often overlooked is the powerful platform behind these businesses, making selling and shopping seamless. For millions of companies, that platform is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's home to the #1 checkout in the world. And the not so secret? With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. If you're serious about growing your business, your commerce platform needs to be ready to sell wherever your customers are. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Gymshark and Heinz use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/nottoday, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/nottoday to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/nottoday.
Um,
The same reason you won't eat lemon garlic chicken from Central Market.
But that's different because you're eating at Disney. You're at Disney. You're stuck at
Okay,
Disney. You're gonna
okay.
be eating something from Disney. I thought we might get a good answer, but he's denying. He probably doesn't want to say the real answer.
I was talking about grinding before, babe. You'd be proud.
like from grinding to turkey legs, it's pretty sexual over there right now, huh?
Yeah, she said she wants to go on a cruise with you for 2 days where you could bang her all you want, but she gets to be dumb and do dumb stuff.
What the fuck?
I just said that I want 24 hours of just having no impulse control and just do like dumb shit like you did when we were teenagers, you know?
That sounds great. I'm in for that. Can we do it anywhere else but a fucking cruise?
I told you.
No, but that's where the sex comes in. She's letting you have all the sex you want, but you got to go on the
Rob
cruise.
said the cruise. I'm down with not
Yeah,
doing
I
the
said cruise because you just get unlimited stuff.
That's the only reason I'd ever go on a cruise, if that's what's on the table.
It's on the table.
Okay, love you. We'll discuss later. Bye. I'll call you later.
He's the best. Do you have the OnlyFans? Do you have the OnlyFans stats?
Yes.
So Jamie, I want you to look. We're on the sex topic.
Okay.
I want you to look at this girl's OnlyFans stats. They call her like the MVP of OnlyFans, possibly. Go ahead, Jamie. Read those off.
Karina Kuf?
Corinna Kampf.
Oh, it's cut off by that wire, so
Yeah.
I can't see. Has officially announced her retirement from OnlyFans.
Here are her stats.
67 million earned in 3 years, only 506 photos, and 33 videos. Is she the undisputed goat of OnlyFans?
And James, this is nothing that you wouldn't see in a rated R movie. Like, she's not getting like banged and blowing guys and stuff. She's just
And
doing...
these are all private paid. Like, is this like the
Yep.
public photo, or this is just like, oh, you paid for this, here's this?
private. You can't even find it. $67 million in 3 years.
With no commission, like to anyone. Or what is the OnlyFans commission?
Do we know that back there? How much does OnlyFans take? What percentage does OnlyFans take? Was it 33 videos? $67 million. I feel like you've done more than 33 like acting
For
videos.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of time I spend on a fucking self-tape audition that goes nowhere. I should be making these videos.
$67 million in 3
I'm
years.
just-
And here's the best part. She's like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm retired. I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Wow.
James.
Now I feel like I've only been doing dumb shit because this sounds like the right move.
Yeah, Jamie. Get your head on straight.
Wow.
Get on OnlyFans and
think
start
I
firing out
should.
videos. I mean that's something that's like, what are you?
I
How
don't
do
see,
you?
but look at her. I'm not gonna be pulling 67 million.
Wrong.
I think she started. But
I
Jamie,
love you,
okay,
Annie,
so
but
Jamie,
no. This is look at her. She has got a rack 6 times the size of mine. She definitely has a booty.
but you've got Sopranos. You
10
got
times the
those
size of
Sopranos
mine.
fans right away. And by the way, I don't want you to go on OnlyFans. I just think it's interesting, like with what you could make. Like as a guy, this doesn't exist. This doesn't
What?
exist.
Okay.
I go do a porn right now. I'll get $11.
I want to know what people. Okay, only people out there that are OnlyFans people that buy things from people that they like on OnlyFans. If I was on OnlyFans, what would you pay? I'm not going to be nude. Let's say I would do a suggestive photo. What would you pay? So then we get an idea then of what this could be like for me.
Yeah, this isn't this isn't gonna get your kids
Why are you
bullied
laughing
more.
at me?
This isn't gonna get your kids bullied more at school.
Why not?
I said, let's get Chad in here.
Oh yeah, Chad's got to dream up what you should. You know what we should do? Can we have Chad put together?
You have to AI the 12-year-old, my 12-year-old face on the body though, because that's what he likes.
That's illegal. But I think we should have, maybe Chad could put together a presentation for next week of what Jamie's OnlyFans could look like if she was interested.
I would really appreciate that.
Yeah. I think
My
Chad-
birthday is in May.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
It's my 44th.
Incredible.
Give me my PowerPoint presentation.
We'll put
of my
together a
future.
presentation of
my
what you
potential future.
And then we'll talk to somebody
if
in
you're going
finance.
to tell me that I could earn $60 million in 3 years, I might consider it.
Here's what we could do also. Can we get a girl who's big on OnlyFans to talk to her to be like, hey, what do you think Jamie would earn? So we'll get your presentation out. And I love when I'm excited for next week already. We'll get your presentation out, and then we'll get some OnlyFans girl to be like, hey, what do you think Jamie could get in there and make? Because we want to be realistic. Maybe this is the best of all time.
I mean, this girl is like stunning.
Here's the thing. She's good looking, but I think more that would make her better than you is that she's willing to put in the time to really know.
And I don't have a
like,
lot of time.
Right. It's like, what do these guys want to see? What am I? Oh, okay. I'm
not
through-
going to be engaging. I'm not going to like talk to you about your day. I don't have time for that.
She won't even do that with Clutter.
Yeah. Like I don't have the time for
That's
that.
the thing about these though. They don't either. They just
They
hire
don't?
they hire like a manager that does it for them. You don't be talking to them. They don't have time for that shit.
Yeah, I know. What are you doing?
So,
you wanna
so
be
they just
Jamie's-
like type.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
I'll be your
not,
manager.
You be our
you said-
OnlyFans manager, or both of you. Yeah, you guys get. They don't know. It could be 8 people.
Bro, I know what the fuck dudes want to hear. You kidding me?
Wow. So you want to be talking horny
And he's
to
gonna
dudes?
talk to the dudes
Hell
for me.
yeah.
I love it.
I beg, what's up, big man?
Wow.
God.
What would
Ew,
you?
I'd never say that ever.
Any, what would you
Exactly.
charge to have to talk sexy with guys all day as your job, as Jamie?
I don't know.
What do you want?
Call it a 10.
10K.
10%?
10K, 10%, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he wants
10%.
10%.
That's not bad. Because I think
6 mil?
here's the thing.
And it would be, what'd you say?
6 mil, right? If I'm making
If she's the
60
goat,
million
if
in
you
3
make her
years.
the goat.
Mil. I heard something about smell. Yeah, for sure.
6
yeah.
smell. Yeah, there's
6
gonna be a
smell.
6 smell coming from.
I was
Here,
like, what am I smelling? Hold on, what?
here's a little, and this isn't just showbiz, I'm sure, but here's something that you know about a good manager makes up for the percentage that he takes. And I think he could boost your OnlyFans by
sure.
30, 40, 50% if he's saying the right thing. So 10% might be a steal.
And
Bruh.
so OnlyFans people like really respect the person where they don't share the shit that they like. If a guy is paying for a photo of me and a convo with me, he's not going to exploit me and share the shit out there.
Somehow it doesn't end up on the internet. 99%, right?
It usually doesn't, because it's like, why would they pay for that? But also it's like, you're not going to do anything that would like, you said you're not going nude. So
No.
what's the biggest leak they could
Yeah, but
give
if
is
you're
like, what,
talking to
Well,
like,
Corinne-
hey, Big Daddy, and I, and it's out there in the world that like, look at Jamie calling me Big Daddy. Like, you know what I mean?
But then you could just be like, oh, that's any.
yeah, literally. It's like, bro, we talked about this. Go to
Yeah,
Not Today
yeah,
Pal
we're right here.
episode.
You'll be like, what'd you miss the ep where we said it's clearly any?
We gave you the script.
But here's the thing.
Wow.
Corinne did show her tits. She wasn't doing
Of
no
course.
tits. Yeah.
Corinna.
For 70 mil, Corinna's showing her tits.
We can work up to that.
Oh, wow.
that.
True,
Not
a true
happening.
Hollywood manager. Yeah, you got it down, huh?
If I haven't shown them now, I'm not showing them.
If
Unless
you
this is an
don't
Oscar-winning
show
role
them
that I'm
by
like-
now.
Yeah.
Just do the ones in your computer.
I was gonna say.
So I saw a video of a porn star. I think it was Angela White. Shout out Angela White. And she was saying there was a guy who she met at a porn convention who came up to her and was like, "Oh my God, I've tried to meet you at 6 or however many different conventions and I couldn't." And she said, "Why?" And he said, "Because I'd get in line and I would jizz. I'd be in line." And he's like, "I would try jerking off before. I tried everything, but I would just get in line. And as soon as I saw you, I would jizz. So I'd have to leave or whatever." And he's like, "This is the first time I've made it to the front without jizzing." So my question is, has a guy who's met you in real life or at a convention or something, the few you've done, has a guy ever said anything weird to you or sexual to you, or where you're like, okay,
No.
nothing?
No.
Wow. Well, we got to do now that you're on
I
YMH.
have those types of fans.
Now that you're on YMH, we got to get you to
PG.
another. Yeah, we got to get PG in line.
Yeah, but PG was, he just fumbled over his words, but it was really just about my feet and my earrings.
See, I knew. I'm like, yo, she's just being nice, because like there's no way you haven't got messages like that. There's no way. You have
Not
to
in
have.
person. And I don't, I
Really?
don't really open public DMs, but no, not in person. Well, I was in the video jizz in my pants.
Well, that's the thing. You don't know, but Chad was supposed to be the third person in the booth. You saw him outside, but by the time he sat down in here, he had already jizzed in his pants. So he's not available for this episode, but we'll see him next week, hopefully with a
If I
PowerPoint.
can still have that effect on people, I'm proud.
Could you imagine like being a guy and like a woman come up to talk to you and just being like, oh, like just from like it's just so
doesn't happen.
different. I know. That's
So
my
this
point.
happened to this guy because there's like a sense memory or like seeing he's probably jerked off so much to this woman that like the sight of her just immediately like ignites that feeling within him.
Yeah.
Right?
Like in his, yeah. It's everything. And
Yeah.
also like when she's at this porn convention, her tits are out. Like she's not fucking
they show
around.
up like full porno.
Yeah. They're not, they're trying to make money. You know?
How much? I wonder, do those people make like convention money?
Oh, they make a ton. They make more than
Like actor convention money?
Yeah, because guys are willing to spend way more. Like what you're willing to do at a convention is take a picture with somebody. They're willing to do a lot more.
I will say I haven't seen the movie Honora that like won all the Oscars and the
Right.
girl won Best Actress, but I have really respected that they continually acknowledge the sex worker community, and like because I think they had a lot of talks with some of them and influence and help with how to display it accurately, but like. The truth of the matter is, like, I think people look down on it so much, but it's a profession. Like, it's the oldest profession in the world, and it's a need that people have.
Listen, if I always think of it as like my daughter or somebody like you, like one of my good friends, like if you're doing porn, I do feel bad. Like I don't
Sure.
want it, but if you're doing taking pictures of yourself for 70 mil, I'm like, you beat the system. Like go, and then
yeah.
for somebody to be like, but you showed your tits. It's like, yo, for 70 mil, like you're what? Like instead of working
and made a lonely person feel a little bit happy.
Yeah,
Is that what these people are?
Why
Are
they gotta be
lonely?
lonely?
What
Why
are they
they gotta be lonely?
I don't know. It's just what I assume people that pay for pictures of strangers they'll never meet
Could just
do.
be horny.
Lonely and horny.
Listen, dudes are just so much hornier than women. It's just like
Forever.
Like not.
Do you
not
feel
all
like
the
your
time.
horniest you've gotten less horny as you've gotten older?
It's insane how it changes. Like sometimes you go through a little time where you're like, I don't know, I'm not horny as you used to be, and then you're walking through Whole Foods and you see yoga pants and something happens and you're like, holy shit! Like I don't even know why I'm here. Like what was I supposed to get? Like
Yeah.
everything, and then like sometimes it's a week and it's always changing. But it's not like when I was 15 where like you're like like it's like you're like a dog with his tongue out when you're like 15 and 16
Yeah.
and stuff
Wow.
but then you go through
I'm really not looking forward to that time in my household
with your boys
when I have 2 teenage boys.
well at least Cutter will be old enough to be a little less horny then.
I don't think Cutter is the horniest person I've ever met in my whole life.
yeah well that's because you dangle the carrot you gotta
Do you think he would approve of if I made that much money, he would let me do an OnlyFans?
for 70 mil, but then also like you'd probably be in hornier, like you'd be coming out of your bedroom in these outfits, and he'd be like, "Whoa, what's going?" like he would. But
I can't
think
do it,
Cutter,
guys. I don't
I think
can
Cutter
do
would
it.
need a guarantee. Like it would have to be like you can't stop until you
Well,
make
who's
5
taking the
mil,
photos?
10 mil, yeah,
Him.
okay.
I'm not dressing up for anybody else to take those photos. Meaning, you know what I mean? Like nobody else is like holding the phone.
Yeah, everyone else will just see him.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any crazy job offers that like were too sexual for you? Like, have you ever had your manager come with a movie and you're like, nah, I can't do that?
No, I don't think people view me like that. I had an agent tell me once, Jamie, you're not the girl you want to fuck. You're the girl you want to marry.
First of all, wrong, and also that's a mean ass nigga that said that. What the fuck?
Yeah, but I understood what he was trying to say. It was like I was up for this part and I didn't get it because the other girl was just naturally sexier than me. Like she held herself that way more than I did. And I understood the sentiment of what he was saying. It definitely got in my head a little bit at the time. But like, I just think that there's women that like, I've never felt like I looked, especially when I was younger, like other girls on TV. You know what I mean? Like I didn't look like any of the CW girls when Sopranos was on, like I didn't look like, it's just not who I was naturally. So I just always assume that I'm not that.
But I don't remember. But on Entourage, wasn't your role like sexual? Wasn't your first thing like jerking him off on a plane?
Well, you don't see it. They talk
But
about
I'm saying
it.
that's somebody who's wanting to fuck you. If you're jerking off a guy 10 minutes into meeting him, that's a role that's very sexual.
I guess.
Right?
I guess that, but they were able to position it because it was like Turtle's girlfriend, right? The guy that like really didn't pull the girls in the group, that it was such a, you know what I mean?
But
it
you
wasn't
weren't his
like
girlfriend on the plane. You just met him and jerked him off. That's like the definition of like a sexual scene. Like what more can they do on a?
I guess. I think Entourage more than any role I've ever played put me sort of in that light.
And you never had guys who watched Entourage who saw you and said anything inappropriate? Nobody ever. That's crazy that you could make it to this long in show business, everything, and like a guy's never come up to you and said anything inappropriate. That's
No.
wild.
People have said mean things to me, but never inappropriate.
I would like to say today we did have a guest come in and they saw the Not Today Pal set and they said, "Oh, is that the Soprano kids?" I said, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, is Meadow gonna be in today?" And he was getting a little nervous, a little drooly. He was
Really?
really wanting to
Really?
run into you.
Well, he was definitely on YMH if he was drooling.
So
I'm
you've got
flattered.
some
Thanks.
admirers.
That's very
out
Jamie
there.
wants to
That
know
makes
who it
me
was.
feel
We
good.
could beep it out. Who was it?
It was an assistant of the guest today.
Oh,
That's very sweet.
Oh, always.
Well,
And never the bridesmaid. What do they say?
never the girl you want to fuck, the girl you want to marry.
Right. Yeah. But you're always. You didn't
Never
get
a
the.
bride,
Sorry. Yeah.
always
You
a
got the
bridesmaid,
assistant.
never a bride,
Hey.
yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Please, that's very flattering. Thank you. But it's just not how I view myself.
What's the weirdest job offer you've ever had? Have you had any like where your manager or somebody calls you or you get a thing where they're like, hey, they're offering a lot of money, but it's a little out there or it's a little weird?
I mean, I think it's just more like scripts are just not great.
But
You know
nothing
what I-
ever where you're like, this is bizarre.
I can't recall in the moment.
Wow.
Right now.
I think we've talked
I'm
about
sure there
it.
have been things.
But I remember one time I got a call from my manager and he's like, there's a girl who wants to pay you to travel with her. Do you remember that? Did I ever-
yeah, that's so. Yeah, I've never had any of those type of offers.
Because she was, and again, if it was she was 17, it's because I was 17, but she was, or like I was 18 or whatever, but it was like, or maybe it was she was like 19 and I was 21, and he said that she could only travel the world if she had somebody with her who was old enough, like over 21, whatever
Yeah.
the thing was. This is 20 years ago. And she was like, I asked my dad and he said it would be okay if it's you and we'll pay you. And I was like,
Why did
what?
you turn it down?
I don't like to travel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a traveler.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but also I did think that I was kind of like, this could be weird.
I
like,
think I did once get like invited or flown to some like corporate event or like corporate like Christmas party, and I was just there. Like I was just like, oh, Meadow's here. So like, you know, just everyone was just like coming. I was just like hired to be somebody at the party, but it was like a fuck ton of money.
No, you were hired to be the hot girl at the party.
Oh, the girl everyone wants to fuck at the party. Yeah,
very sweet.
Amy.
I
Yeah,
don't
way to go.
know.
Yeah, no one was paying me to go to parties.
You think they brought you there to mingle? That's it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I brought my mom with me.
When was this?
Like when I was like 19 or yeah.
Wow, that you know what that is? That's just one creepy dude. There's just one creepy dude who's like, hey, you know what? We got 30 grand or whatever it is to pay to someone
Yeah,
to come to
it
this
was
party.
something like that.
And it's
It
like
was something like 20 or 30
We could
grand.
pay a
I'm not
musical
kidding.
act to come. We could pay a magician. It's like, oh, we could have 10 magicians. Or we could just have Jamie. He's like, I'm going to offer all the money to Jamie-Lynn just so I can stare at her. He probably had a one-way glass somewhere and was just watching you.
Wow. I'm
Yeah.
just oblivious.
Yeah. I always like, I don't know. I always like, I go back. I'm like, imagine that started my traveling journey of the world if I just said yes to travel with.
Rob the backpacker.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I can't. I was like, no, I don't like to travel. What do we have any memory lane by any chance?
Yes.
Wow, this episode's flying by.
No, because we started with the music. That's what you got to do.
Oh,
So
yeah.
little Rastafarian
Oh,
music.
look at
Talk
us!
about grinding and dancing.
Pure, that's Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is when people paid Rob and I money to
is
show
correct.
up at a club so people could just look at us in a club.
And take pictures of us with cameras that they brought.
Wow,
Unlike
look
now
at
where you just have it in your
that.
phone.
Can you zoom in on those people's cameras down in the dance floor? Look at those little Casio. Is that what they were? No, that was not what it was called. Was it?
Nokia, right? There were
Yeah.
Nokia cameras. But I remember my friend came with me and he like went walking on the strip and he came back with like a flyer with me and you on it. And it was like, come
No
see
way.
Jamie and Rob
Oh,
tonight.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're just handing this out. And people are like, ew, get away from me. Like, you know, people are trying to hand them that flyer and they're like, oh, stop.
Look at us. We used to.
Okay, so wait, no, but we try and figure out when this was. So I'm going to
Okay.
say, hold on, you always go first and you get it. So let me try. I'm going to say 2007. It might be 2008, but I'm going to say 2007. It's at Caesars in Las Vegas.
I agree with everything except I think 2006.
2007.
Ooh, there we go. I finally got one. That was it. 2007. We're in
Pure Nightclub, Las Vegas.
Pure. I wonder. What do you think?
This is
I'm
one of
looking
the
at?
rare few times where you and I are similar skin color.
Yeah, here and listen. I don't want to get in your head like your ex-manager did, but that's the girl you want to marry. That's not the girl you want to fuck.
Yeah,
Come
this
on,
is
look
what I
how-
mean. This
look
is how I
sweet-
would present myself.
Yeah,
you
you're
can't
just-
see any cleavage.
You're a sweet lady.
There's
you know what I
nothing
mean?
tight.
Even in Vegas, like this is Jamie in Vegas. Could you imagine Jamie on like a regular day? You know, like this is as wild as Jamie would get when she was 22. She got her little curls in her hair.
This
you
is
know,
why.
yeah, she's like a nice little sweet.
This is why.
I got the fucking beanie on. Like, man. There's a story that I want to get your opinion on, which is, again, this is something I find, I don't even want to say because it's very controversial. The Drea de Matteo story.
Yes.
Tell me what you think of this, James.
My grandfather, I think I want to say he was in the Lucchese family. So he was Lucchese they said his name was Joe Babes because he was a womanizer, and he used to beat the shit out of my grandmother. And he would come home with the lipstick on the neck, and the whole cliche story. But then I looked him up. I Googled him, and I couldn't believe he was Googleable. And it said that he got the name Joe Babes from accidentally shooting a baby. So I was like, oh, okay. My mother hated him, and she's written numerous plays about him, but then she would come to forgive him later on in her life. He died at 50 with his face in a plate of spaghetti at the track, and he won. So his men brought home the, I don't know, $3,000 to my grandmother and said, and he's dead.
How you feel about that, Yame?
That's some real shit right there.
Joey Babes, because he shot a baby.
Wait, Drea needs to write like a movie on her fucking family.
100%. That is.
Why isn't she not doing this? We need to text her immediately.
By the way, when she first said womanizer, I was like, oh yeah, I didn't. Is womanizer a bad thing? I thought womanizer.
Yes. You're thinking of the Britney Spears song? What are you?
No, I thought a womanizer was like a guy who got a lot of pussy, but is it actually a bad thing? It's like,
I think a womanizer is like a sleaze. Yeah, like a guy that like takes advantage of women. Like,
can you look that up? Look up what is
the definition of womanizer?
Yeah, I didn't know it was
Womanizer. Yeah, she's a womanizer. He's a womanizer.
If Britney's singing about it, I just thought it was like, hey, you got a lot of Womanizer as a series. No, hold on.
A man who engages in numerous casual sexual affairs with women.
That doesn't sound like a bad guy.
Something good isn't notorious, though. It says notorious womanizer who married 4 times.
No, but that's just using it in a sentence. They could put anything there. They could put he's a horrible womanizer. He's a great
what is
womanizer.
another name for womanizer? That one.
Philanderer. That doesn't sound like a bad guy.
That's a guy who fucks around a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was, but I didn't know it was like you treat women like shit.
Cheating on a woman is treating her like shit.
Yeah, but that's not saying what a womanizer doesn't have to be a cheater. Right?
I think you just assume.
I'd say it's more the stigmas like that they are objectifying women because that's really all that they view them as is like, sex buddies and shit.
Right.
They're not really trying to like form a connection.
But if you're like, hey, I'm a 22-year-old guy, I want to get married when I'm 25, and now I'm going to have fun. And like, if you're like, oh, he's a womanizer, but like, it has to mean like, whoa, watch out, he's a womanizer. Like it's a bad, I never associated it with bad thing, but in her video, it seemed like a very horrible.
I feel like, I never thought about that before, but I feel like being a womanizer kind of has like an age cutoff. Like I feel like you can't be a womanizer before, I don't know, like 25 or some shit.
Sure.
Like before that, it's like, yeah, you're just a kid.
You're just a kid, for sure.
Everyone's doing that shit.
And also, like,
it's like when you start having serious relationships and things like that.
Like, if you call a 30-year-old guy a womanizer, it's like, oh, whatever. If you say it about a 60-year-old guy, you're like, oh, that's scumbag. Like, you kind of just feel like you're like, get your
shit together.
I don't know. You've been strength training, right? Are you still doing that?
Always.
But I feel like you weren't for a really long time. Now
I'm
you just got back.
consistently doing it. Yeah.
You're getting jacked. Is that the goal? Wow.
I have a little muscle there.
Shout out Jamie. Save that for OnlyFans.
Is that what my OnlyFans are? Will just be my muscles?
Save that for OnlyFans. Yeah.
Workout pics, 100%.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And I'm in my 40s. That strength training is important at this age.
And you're doing it with your other lady friends?
Yeah. 3 times a week.
3 times a week. How's it going?
It's good. It's hard. I like it. I like. I'm limited physically, so anytime I can do anything that makes me feel strong and challenges me and reminds me that my body works still in ways that I want it to, like I like it. So I like strength training. Shout out Erin O'Leary Stewart. She is the best trainer. I love her, and she has an app called Savor and Sweat, which has tons of her workouts and recipes. She's changed our lives. She's the best.
Check it out. And here's the last thing I want to do for today is there's a video we have of the Indian. Can you show this? I want to know what your thoughts are on this, Jamie, because I'm like obsessed with it, but it scares me. But I really.
No.
This is in India.
Oh my God, that is absolutely rotten.
Is that earwax?
Yeah. So there's these guys on the street in India who they're standing there with tweezers, and you roll up on them.
Oh my, that is rotten, bro.
And he's touching it.
Okay, you're very close to like going through something. Oh, hold. Look at that. That is absolutely
What the hell
revolting.
is this guy doing?
So in India, these guys
That
are
looks
just
like a worm.
I know, that's what's in people's ears. You're just standing. These guys are standing on the street.
Wait,
you go
it
up
makes
to
me
them.
want to go home today and like clean my kids' ears.
I know, no, but you got to do this. Like, you can't do this. Like, this guy's like trained professional. You could fuck him up.
I mean, I've talked about it with you before that like my favorite sensation is like a Q-tip in my ear.
Of course, but I want to get the wax pulled out of my ears like that
I want
so
that
bad.
so bad.
But you know what really got me?
But I don't want to look at it.
And I saw that people in the comments said also this really got me. The number one thing I couldn't stop thinking about when I watched this video. Can you show the first clip again?
No.
Look how busy the streets are. If somebody bumps into him, you're like dead.
Oh my God, that is absolutely rotten.
He's got. Can you just pause on like the thing where he has the thing in his ear, and there's people like if this person coming by bumps
That
into this
woman
guy,
in the pink loses her balance.
yeah, your brain is on a stick. that is some dangerous shit. Like I'd be like, yo, we got to go somewhere more private, buddy. We're not doing this on the.
No,
But also,
these people know what they're doing.
I would never let somebody do this. Guy's flicking off
I
someone
wouldn't let
else's earwax.
anybody on the street do something
No
like this
way.
to me. But this does. I would pay a lot of money at a spa to get this done.
Would any of you guys let somebody on the street in India do this?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Yeah,
when
probably.
when I first got to India,
Wow.
2 years ago when I went, one of our first stops in India, because we were there with this whole camera crew or whatever, and we were getting ready to leave our first location. There was, and I'm in complete culture shock in India. I mean, like if you've never been, literally it's the most culture shock you'll ever have. There were these naked men covered in what looking like ash, and they come over and they immediately approach you. And he went up to one of the camera guys and kind of was like doing something around him, and then like grabbed something from his pocket and went, whew, and like put this shit all over him. And then one of the locals like came up to us and he was like, oh, he just blew human ash all over you. It's like a blessing of sorts, but the guy was just covered in human ash.
I'd rather that than somebody shove that thing in my ear on the street. I'd rather someone blow a human on me than do that.
A lot of things.
I could, but I also at the same time, I really want it. Like I wanted to get that pulled out of my ear. Could you imagine the feeling?
The satisfaction. Oh my God, how clean. Maybe we don't even know how good we could feel.
Well, that's the thing. I think what makes this stuff worse and what makes our earwax so bad these days, because we're always shoving these things in our ears and that's just pushing it in and in and in.
Should we book a flight to India?
Or should we have like an ear, nose, and throat doctor come in here and do our ears and
With like the wax?
with like a real? They have like a thing on that's attached to a camera so you can watch.
I don't want to look. I don't want to look.
Did I send that other video
You can do the flush one.
of
You
the
guys
ear
seen that?
cleaning?
No,
Okay.
I only got this one.
Okay, sorry.
Have you guys seen the one where they flush it out?
Yeah, it's like they shoot water in there, right?
That's awesome.
I did that as a kid because I think I had like an infection or something. Yo, that feels crazy. And it feels so clean afterwards. It's nuts.
My friend Becca swore she had something in her ear and somebody poured water in the ear and a spider came crawling out.
Get out of here. How long was it in there?
She felt it for like an hour or two. Like she swore something was in there. And then somebody was like, if you pour, because you know, your ear canal goes nowhere. There's like, you know, it doesn't go to your brain. It doesn't go into your body. It's
I didn't know that.
yeah, it's completely blocked. So
Really?
Yeah. So when you pour water in there, they have nowhere to go but come out.
See, I thought that I didn't think if you pour water in your ear, it goes to your brain, obviously. But I thought like if you stuck those tweezers in, you're getting. I mean,
Yeah.
but obviously you are right. You're getting to your brain.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you
obviously
could
knew-
damage your canal.
Right.
but
Obviously,
you
I knew
wouldn't-
like when you jump in a pool, you're not getting water in your brain.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
you're welcome. You've learned some new things today, hopefully.
That's a show. That's an ep. Thanks for
Everyone
joining.
falls in love sometimes.
I don't
Go
know
grind with your
about
partner
you.
tonight.
Yeah,
Go grind with a
grind with
stranger.
somebody.
Go
Yeah.
live life. Go
But
do dumb shit.
Get their consent.